Today, I want to share with you a book titled The Monk and the 5-Year-Old Child, Vietnamese title. I read the Chinese translation, which I found closer to the original, titled Reconciling with Oneself, Healing the Child Within You. The author of this book is the eminent Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh. For his profound understanding of Buddhism and outstanding contributions to world peace, he was once revered as the venerable of the world. Among Thich Nhat Hanh's works, Reconciling with Oneself, Healing the Child Within You, which we discuss today, is a precious work for self-healing, a priceless legacy he left for us. You will find that many people carry childhood wounds that are difficult to let go of, fears, helplessness, and torments that leave lasting impacts, sometimes affecting their present lives for years. Many desperately want to escape these burdens, but don't know where to start. If you have similar unresolved knots in your heart, perhaps Thich Nhat Hanh will offer you an answer through this book. Thich Nhat Hanh believed that everyone carries a vulnerable, wounded child within. As we grow, to protect ourselves, we try to forget past pains, but choosing to ignore them doesn't mean they cease to exist. Avoidance only prolongs our suffering. The child within you is always there, waiting for your affection. In this book, Thich Nhat Hanh explains the principles of Buddhism in very accessible language, helping us understand the obscurities of life, return to the depths of our hearts, and recognize the presence of our inner child. Thich Nhat Hanh urges us to embrace that inner child, listen to it, comfort it, so it can break free from emotional turmoil and achieve true reconciliation with ourselves. The remedy for self-healing is mindfulness. You've heard this term mentioned often, right? So why should we live mindfully? If you had to use one word to describe life, what would it be? One writer used the word net to describe life. We often get caught in this net, entangled in numerous tasks. Our lives are full of busyness, stress, conflict, and regret. We often dwell on past mistakes or carry anxieties about future plans or things yet to happen. But you must admit one thing: what we ponder or worry about, whether past or future, is merely our own imagination. The past has already happened, it's just something we recall. The future hasn't occurred, it's only something we're imagining. Both the past and the future are not truly ours. Everything you possess right now, in this very moment, can only be the present. Yet, how do we treat the present? You have overlooked countless experiences of your own, missed innumerable moments in the present. We cannot fully be present in our own current moment. Many even choose to confront the present, constantly seeking ways to overcome it. This is a reality, and it's also why your share of happiness and contentment often turns its back on you. Facing such difficulties, Thich Nhat Hanh told us that practicing mindfulness and being aware of our thoughts and actions in the present moment can bring about immense changes in our lives. So, what is mindfulness? Simply put, mindfulness is knowing clearly what is happening in the present moment. Buddhist psychology divides the mind into two parts: consciousness and store consciousness. Consciousness refers to active awareness, often understood in Western psychology as the conscious mind. It is the primary condition for maintaining mindfulness, meaning we need to be fully aware of all our actions to truly be present in each one. When breathing, be aware that you are breathing. When drinking tea, know that you are drinking tea. When walking, be aware that you are walking. Many people might scoff and say, "Don't I know what I'm doing?" But in reality, most of our ordinary choices and behaviors stem from a kind of inertia. These habitual patterns become automatic responses of our nervous system, governing our work and life. When we have many tasks, we often don't consider if they are meaningful or important. We simply see them as obligations to be rushed through. When you're busy with work, eating becomes merely a way to satisfy hunger, and you don't want to spend too much time on it. We might eat while glued to a computer screen, working. What does the food taste like then? Surely, you wouldn't even know. Or when we're with family, many might play games absent-mindedly, just going through the motions to get conversations over with. In countless such everyday moments, we are not truly aware of our actions. Life is always rushing. Everyone is hurrying to keep up with some pace. There are even times when you're so exhausted you don't want to talk to anyone. But the truth is, many of us fail to recognize or find meaning in each living moment. Beyond these behaviors, most of the time you are also unaware of your inner world. Our judgments are often based on ingrained perspectives and lifestyles. For example, many people constantly have negative self-evaluations. When confronted with negative thoughts about themselves, their first reaction is self-reproach. Why am I so selfish? My thoughts are terrible. How could I do such a thing? And so on. Therefore, practicing mindfulness, being aware of what we are doing, means you are consciously observing yourself. When we can be aware of our actions, we can change our behavior to a certain extent. At the same time, you can combat the habit of mind wandering with the power of focus and truly being present in what you do. Furthermore, we can gain a deeper understanding and clearer insight into our true inner selves. There's a saying, we often live losing ourselves because our body and mind are not one. Reflect on this. Isn't it often true for us? When your body is doing one thing, your consciousness is thinking about other things. It's like when we're driving, our body is focused on driving, but our mind often wanders to other things. How's work lately? What do I need to do today? Why is the stock market falling so sharply? What time should I pick up the kids tonight? And so on. Thus, cultivating mindfulness is precisely about bringing the mind and body back together, in sync with the present moment. When walking, we know we are walking. When breathing, we know we are breathing. When eating, drinking tea, or doing anything, we always have the presence of consciousness with the present. In this book, Thich Nhat Hanh pointed out that learning mindful breathing, mindful walking, and mindful letting go are ways to cultivate the energy of mindfulness anytime, anywhere. This will help the seeds of mindfulness, consciously nurtured in our store consciousness, become stronger. First is *** mindful breathing ***. Mindful breathing is different from what we usually call breathing. It refers to focusing our attention on each exhalation and inhalation. This helps us become aware of our body, release tension, identify pain, and soothe it. It calms and relaxes us and also helps us cultivate wisdom. That is, by being aware of our breath, we can direct our mind to our body and thereby truly be present in the moment. Second, let's learn ** mindful walking **. Mindful walking means that our steps are no longer merely a means to an end. For example, when you walk into the kitchen to prepare a meal, previously you might have thought, I'm going into the kitchen to cook. But with mindfulness, you can tell yourself, I am walking into the kitchen to enjoy this moment. At this point, your steps into the kitchen become mindful steps. These steps will always possess their inherent beauty. Knowing this, you will be able to grasp the profound meaning of the saying, there is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path itself. The third is * mindful letting go *. Mindful letting go means releasing the attachments in your heart. Only then can you experience true joy. To understand this, let's listen to a very meaningful story. One day, the Buddha and his monks were sitting in a forest. A farmer passed by and asked if they had seen his lost cow. The Buddha replied, No, we haven't seen any cows of yours pass this way. You might try looking elsewhere. After the farmer left, the Buddha smiled and said to the monks, You should feel very happy, for you have no cow to lose. Later, Thich Nhat Hanh recounted this lost cow story to a German businessman who was attending a meditation retreat, and the businessman laughed aloud. Thich Nhat Hanh invited him to another retreat sometime later, but the businessman declined, saying he was a busy entrepreneur. He wanted to go to Italy for business, so he said goodbye to Thich Nhat Hanh and left. But unexpectedly, on the second day, the businessman returned to the retreat. He said that he had let go of some of the cows he had previously thought he needed to possess, and this made him feel very happy and relieved. This is the meaning of mindful letting go. Each of us surely has at least one cow. In mindfulness practice, there's a method to help us train. Write down the names of your cows on a piece of paper, then reflect deeply on whether you can let go of some of them. This is when you might realize that some things you once considered keys to your happiness, upon deeper inspection, are not only not keys to happiness, but can even be obstacles to your true joy and well-being. So, we've just gained some basic understanding of mindfulness. Next, the topic we'll discuss is how we can deal with negative emotions like desire, fear, pain, and anger in daily life, and how to reclaim the peace and happiness we've lost or forgotten. First, let's talk about * desire and fear ***. In fact, desires and fears have existed since you were born. Initially, we felt very safe and comfortable in our mother's womb. We didn't have to do anything. But upon birth, the living environment changed completely. The doctor cut the baby's umbilical cord, and the baby had to learn to breathe on its own. The fluid in the lungs had to be expelled before the baby could take its first breath in this world, and the baby's survival depended on that breath. Newborns are very fragile and vulnerable, dependent on others for care to survive. This is the origin of our primal fear. Simultaneously, accompanying primal fear is primal desire. A baby always wants to be fed, to sleep, to be hugged, to be protected. Only by continuously having these things can the baby survive and feel the security it needs. Fear and desire both originate from the same source, and both continue to exist even when you grow up. We have many fears, and what is the typical fear? We fear death, and that is also the origin of desire. Every moment, we are striving to exist, hoping to find a life partner to lean on, wishing for a stable job, and earning more money. The root of all these things is nothing more than wanting to live longer and better. But the strange thing is that even when we have these things, we are rarely satisfied. Do you know why? Because our core fear is always there. As long as this fear remains, your desires will always be endless. Regarding how to deal with desire and fear, the Buddha's teachings have a profound impact on everyone. He said that concerning desire, understand that contentment is the condition for happiness. Contentment is the realization, here and now, that we already have what is necessary for happiness and need nothing more. In fact, if you look at your current circumstances, you'll see that you already possess a great deal of happiness. But if you continue to pursue more money, power, fame, believing that achieving more will make you happy, then you will surely not find happiness. Because there will be no end to satisfying greed if you don't know contentment. Always remember that what we have right now is enough, and by living this way, all of us can be individuals brimming with happiness. And what about fear? Those who experience childhood trauma will, as adults, sometimes encounter things that trigger these memories. It's like watching an old movie with scary scenes. At such times, you will clearly feel the fear within you. At this moment, practice mindful breathing. Mindfulness can help us. Calm your mind, return to your breath, settle your body and mind, and smile at yourself. Don't wish the fear away, instead observe it, accept it, and experience it. Respond to fear with your presence and observation. Tell yourself that the scary experience of the past is indeed in the past, and now it's nothing more than an image, a memory. Remind yourself not to let memories bind you, but to see the beauty of life and enjoy the present moment. So what about pain? We see that humans always tend to flee from it, but you need to know that without suffering, there can be no happiness. Every event in our lives carries its own meaning, its own lesson, and pain is no different. It plays an irreplaceable role. We can learn compassion and love from pain itself. Therefore, when you know how to face pain and learn to understand it, you won't be overwhelmed by it. Not only can we overcome it, but we can also learn from it. So what should we do when we're stuck in pain? In this book, Thich Nhat Hanh taught us 2 ways to transform suffering. The first method is to continuously sow seeds of peace, joy, and true happiness. It's very simple. It's merely about living your life in a way you love. The second method is to practice mindfulness continuously. This is a direct way of transformation. When we feel pain, we should use mindfulness to recognize it and comfort it, just as you would talk to an old friend. Mindfulness will create an energy field within you. When seeds of pain appear in your consciousness, they will gradually diminish as they are illuminated by mindfulness. Regarding anger. When we get angry with others, one reason is that we understand their negative behaviors are not solely their own, but also inherited from their ancestors. They are influenced and driven by these habits. The second reason is that we believe the other person wants to make us uncomfortable and hurt us. But in reality, this is only your subjective perception. It's not necessarily the other person's original intention. What we must do is not suppress anger, because suppression will only intensify conflict. Instead, we should find ways to coexist peacefully with others. The most direct way, when angry, is to calm yourself with mindful breathing, recognizing the pain and understanding the inner flaws of both the other person and yourself. When we can see the other person from a different perspective, we can understand their circumstances and realize that they don't know how to cope with their own pain. With this level of awareness, love will arise within you, and anger will transform into understanding and compassion. Whether it's desire, fear, pain, or anger, negative emotions will always return to haunt us. Therefore, Thich Nhat Hanh told us that through continuous mindfulness practice, we can improve our awareness and adjust our perception of these negative emotions. So, now that we understand mindfulness and have learned how to deal with negative emotions, let's see how Thich Nhat Hanh guides us to heal our inner child. Healing your inner child means returning to our heart, confronting ourselves, facing painful memories and wounds. We need to know how to care for and guide that tiny self, hidden deep within those memories, and finally untangle the knots of the past. This entire process can be divided into 5 steps. Step 1, visualize your inner child. You need to find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed for a short period, then practice mindful breathing. As you inhale, say, "I see myself as a 5-year-old child." As you exhale, tell yourself, "I smile lovingly at the 5-year-old child within me." The child within us always needs your attention. Acknowledge its existence and communicate with it. If we can sit down and practice this visualization for a few minutes each day, it will be very helpful and bring you wonderful comfort. Step 2, listen to your inner child. When you return to the wounded child, embrace it gently. Tell it that you are here, you are ready, and listen to it. Let the child within you express all its pain and grievances, and if needed, you can cry. By doing so, you will be able to alleviate and transform your deep-seated pain, allowing us to find more love and peace within ourselves. Step 3, talk to your inner child. In this step, let your inner child emerge and become acquainted with your life in the present moment, because time has changed and there are many positive things in the present. Only by allowing our old self to live in the present can we stop suffering from the past. Tell your inner child that you know it suffered greatly, but now, you and it can protect yourselves. Live for the present and do not let the past imprison us like this. You will genuinely be able to talk to your inner child, speaking aloud, not just imagining. As long as you try to do this, buried fears will begin to be released and the healing process will begin. Step 4, help your inner child release pain. This step allows your inner child to express itself, giving it the opportunity to release pain. In this important step, Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh advises us to invite our inner child to manifest by role-playing as the child and talking to ourselves. This is not a ridiculous method. For those who truly haven't released their pain, it's an extremely effective technique. In this step, take 2 chairs and place them facing each other. Imagine that the child, about 3-5 years old, is sitting opposite you. Then speak to this child. "I know you are the one within me. I know you have been there and experienced so much pain. You have been deeply hurt, and I know that because I am you. But now we have grown up. I want to tell you that life is beautiful now. Let's stop dwelling in the past. If you have anything you want to say to me, please tell me." Then switch to the opposite chair, embodying your inner child to express this role. You can vocalize anything you are complaining about, condemning regarding your hurt, helplessness, loneliness, or fear. You can express your expectations or hopes that someone would be there to protect you, and so on. You can say all that is in your heart. After that, return to your original chair as an adult. Speak to the child within you. "I hear you and I completely understand your pain. But you know, now we can protect ourselves. We can do anything. We are complete within ourselves. We don't need others to help us. Let's enjoy each present day and live truly freely." If you can have such a conversation with your inner child for just 5 to 10 minutes each day, genuine self-healing will truly emerge within you. And the final step, step 5, share joy with your inner child. Besides helping your inner child release past pain, don't forget that you also need to share the joys of the present moment. This can enhance the inner child's sense of security. For example, when you travel to a beautiful place, invite your inner child to enjoy the beauty together. If you continue to do this for weeks and months, the wounds within you can heal. Within each of us resides a child. Past pain relentlessly haunts us, negatively impacting our present lives. If we wish to heal our own pain and helplessness, we need an open heart so we can learn to be more compassionate. When we know how to embrace even the suffering in life, pain will no longer turn its back on us. On this matter, Thich Nhat Hanh's best advice to us is to practice mindfulness. When you generate the energy of mindfulness, transforming negative emotions into understanding and love, we can soothe and reconcile with ourselves and with all others. As Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "Precious jewels exist everywhere in the universe, in you and in me." Let's give happiness to each other and learn to live in the present moment. Cherish life in your own embrace and let go of hopeless losses.